Vineet, you and I first met, I think, back in 2020. You had just joined Abnormal as a machine learning engineer. And it was amazing to watch your journey grow from an ML engineer into leading a number of the product teams at Abnormal. And then Corinne and I and all of us at Greylock are really fortunate to get to work with you and the team at Cogent. So tell us a little about Cogent and what we're launching today.
At Cogent, we're building AI agents that automate the most painful and complex aspects of vulnerability management, which is arguably the most important problem in cybersecurity today. Really, what we're trying to do for security teams is remove bottlenecks and increase both efficiency and effectiveness. And what makes us unique is we're basically bringing in data sources from across the enterprise. We're applying intelligence to actually model how the organization works. And then from there, we have AI agents that resemble the reasoning capacity of an organization's best security, engineering, and IT personnel to actually remediate risk faster.
One of the most exciting things about Cogent is the founders. You and Gang both came from Abnormal Security. Thanos was leading infrastructure at Blackstone and Coinbase. Tell us a little bit about what your guys' learnings at these companies have taught you about building Cogent.
I probably have about 80 pages of notes on my learnings from Abnormal, so I'll keep it distilled. I think Abnormal is in very rarefied air, is one of the few security companies that customers actually love. And so there's a lot of core principles around that. And then also, I think Abnormal is just a very high-performing environment internally. And so I really was able to learn what A+ looks like across every single function of the business. And then also, our team, we're all engineers by trade. We were on the front lines, right? So remediating vulnerabilities, be it Log4Shell, Heartbleed, Shell Shock, right? And so that actual hands-on experience, it gives us a lot of empathy for the stakeholders involved in vulnerability management, nuanced understanding of the problem space, and then also a lot of really, really creative ideas in terms of how to go and solve these problems.
How have you thought about team construction and bringing together the right group of people to build Cogent?
Cybersecurity is a very technical domain, and it's also a market that has a lot of idiosyncrasies. So I think there is a lot of benefit to having come from the industry before and having experience with it. Now, that said, on the engineering side of things, a lot of the problems in cybersecurity are really data problems and AI problems. So our approach at Cogent has been to take folks that deeply understand security, but pair them with best-of-breed experts who come from companies like Google Research, Coinbase, Tesla, Stripe. So I think as you look at Cogent, in a way, it looks a lot more like any other applied AI company across verticals than it does a traditional security company, and that's actually by design.
So Vineet, you're building Cogent in the generative AI era. And one of the things that's interesting about generative AI is there's these kind of curves that are accelerating and compounding on top of each other that make certain problem spaces much more important. Maybe comment on that a little bit and like how you're seeing that play out with our customers.
Generative AI changes everything in cybersecurity, right? So if you think about the attacker workflow in the modern era, attackers can basically just go and feed a prompt, including into open source LLMs, and in an instant get exploit code out that they can then use to go and attack the world. Not to mention, as there's more AI-based applications that organizations are building, there's more and more attack surface for the attackers to be able to exploit. Now, if you look at the other side of the equation and defenders, not only are you trying to diffuse threats, you're trying to coordinate with engineering teams, with IT teams, and make sure that you're protecting your company without necessarily bringing down the business. So really, at Cogent, why we exist is we're trying to bridge that asymmetry between the different stakeholders, and we want to make an organization meaningfully more secure.
And what's the role of AI agents in all of this? And why do customers need AI agents given this evolving attack landscape?
AI agents are a mechanism for allowing a team of 3 to be the team of 15 that most organizations want but can't have. And then also there's a speed dynamic, right? So when all of a sudden a machine is attacking you, you can't be responding at human speed. This is where AI agents can also help to neutralize threat actors and rectify that imbalance.
Could you talk about a few specific customer wins you've seen with the Cogent agents?
In terms of the actual product and the outcomes we're driving, the real power of generative AI and reasoning models is that we're able to automate a lot of these leaps that typically would require a lot of human judgment. And so we've actually had a number of these customer wins where we've highlighted top findings in the environment, these hair on fire moments, where customers have immediately stopped the Zoom call, called an incident, jumped out into the office and grabbed other stakeholders within the company and gone to go and resolve it. I think that's a strong testament to the power of the technology we're building.
So today you're announcing your $11 million seed fundraise. Tell us about what's ahead for Cogent.
As we look out to the next year, success for us is really around 2 things. It's around taking the core platform that we've already built and extending that to more and more use cases to give customers better coverage. And then secondly, scaling our impact to bring as many customers onto the platform as possible.
There's, of course, a lot of interesting companies being built in the AI era. If I'm an engineer and I'm thinking about Cogent versus other companies out there, why should I join Cogent?
I think as an engineer or as any employee considering joining a startup, there's 3 core factors that matter. I think number 1, we operate in a very large market where every single enterprise has a challenge with cybersecurity. And those challenges are only accelerating as a function of what's happening in the generative AI landscape and the broader threat landscape. I think number 2 on the team, we've assembled a really core group of folks across a number of functions, whether it's go-to-market, whether it's R&D, that have deep expertise and familiarity with the problem, but also are just best-of-breed technologists. And then culturally, the degree of customer centricity, the degree of alignment is extremely high. So these are all reasons that I think for an engineer joining Cogent, we want this to be the sort of place where you come in and 10 years down the line, you look back as this being the most rewarding professional experience of your career. And we're very committed to making this an environment where that can happen.
Awesome. Vineet, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for letting us be supporters and backers of the Cogent journey, and we're excited for what's ahead.